Now, here's your host, John Curley.
Thanks, Joe Michaels. Hi, everyone, and welcome to the show. We have come to Gig Harbor in our big RV because you have told us there's a great story waiting for us on 56th Street. We'll check it out in a little bit, but hey, did you know that on Sunday night at 8, you could be $250,000 richer just by watching Con 616. I'll explain that to you in just a little bit, but first, something happened, more than 30 years ago, to an 8-year-old boy in the Northwest that changed his life forever. Now, with 8,000 pounds of hydrogen peroxide, he's ready to have his dreams come true. Jim Bever has the story.
A great band once called Space the final frontier. But for more than 40 years, to get up there, you pretty much had to be in something NASA calls the space program. Brian Walker's got a different plan.
You can see it says Rocket Guy.
I'm building a spaceship in my backyard. Another class and it's gonna go far.
Though he doesn't have a college degree or much flying experience, Brian plans to blast himself into space with a homemade rocket.
Believe me, there's been times when I said, hey, this is nuts. Don't do this. But that's the number one goal.
It was the summer of '69. Neil Armstrong planted a footprint on the moon, igniting a lifelong dream in an 8-year-old boy.
Seeing it on TV and stuff, I couldn't think of anything cooler than riding a rocket in space. So I thought, well, I'm going to grow up, build my own rocket. And that dream's been with me for, 36 years now?
But the dream would take some exotic detours. Brian spent the early 90s in Fiji, inventing a 2-man sub that, leaked a little.
I basically was an expert at failure up until about the age 35.
But Brian turned his life around by unleashing his inner 8-year-old.
About 10 years ago, I started focusing my inventive skills in the area of the toy industry. You can change the light from solid to blinking. And for the past 7 or 8 years, I've made a very good living on royalties from about 18 different toys that I've sold. And then, bam, nail it. Ooh, I hit it that time.
The 6-figure income Brian earns in royalties frees up time to pursue that childhood dream, to build a spaceship.
The basic mission is mission success. I ascend 30 miles, come down, land, get out and wave.
Here's how it should work. Powered by 90% pure hydrogen peroxide, Brian's rocket lifts off from the desert in southeastern Oregon, reaching 4 times the speed of sound.
It'll have about 85 seconds worth of fuel, which is 8,000 pounds. The engine consumes about 90 pounds per second, and it'll accelerate for 90 seconds, and then when the fuel runs out, the main fuel tank drops, the capsule will continue to coast, and it'll reach a point of about 30 miles high. That's my goal.
At the edge of space, Brian will feel several seconds of weightlessness as the capsule tips back toward Earth.
As it descends, there's a series of devices that help the slow check its descent. And then at about 10,000 feet, I deploy a 900 square foot parafoil ring, just like a skydiver's parachute. And that will deploy, and then I will come in and land just like a parachutist does.
A Boeing engineer who has made 3 space shuttle flights says Brian can expect the hottest, fastest elevator ride imaginable. But it would work.
Well, what Brian's about is, it can be fairly dangerous, but I think he's going at it with a smart approach. He's going to experts to help him with design, with equipment, and he's been training with professionals in the fields.
To prepare for his flight, Brian pays a week-long visit to Russia's Star City, a cosmonaut training camp. He tries on his first spacesuit and takes 6 G's on a Russian centrifuge.
And then, of course, the best part, going up in the Vomit Comet, which is a kind of an endearing term for the plane that goes up, and it does a power dive at 240 knots at 60 degrees. And so for 25 seconds, you get to experience zero gravity.
The Vomit Comet earns its name.
And after the 7th time, it was time to pull out the old stomach distress bags. But, after all the times I've thrown up in the past, I do it again.
Back home, Brian's got his own centrifuge.
So when this thing's fully operational, it'll be spinning it around at 73 miles an hour to produce 6 Gs.
It's just not working yet. It's kind of running on Matt's power.
Thanks, Matt.
In the garage, Brian coats the capsule with heat-resistant fiberglass.
And of course, there's my little windows, so I can see, because I want to have a good view. When I'm facing straight down going 2,000 miles an hour.
Which brings up the obvious question. What if something goes wrong? Brian's got it all thought out.
In the event of a total catastrophic failure, the idea is that I will be wearing a spacesuit with 2 parachutes. So if for some reason at 25 or 30 miles or 10 miles high, if I have to eject from the cockpit, I'll know what to expect because I will have had the skydiving training.
He may not have a pilot's license yet, but Brian Walker has already earned respect from the best in the field.
I really believe that he's following the basic entrepreneurial pioneering spirit that made this country great.
I want this to kind of be the kind of thing that inspires other people to look at their own lives and their dreams that they have and say, hey, rocket guy built a rocket and launched himself into space. Maybe my dream of having a dry cleaning business or a restaurant, maybe my dream isn't so unrealistic because look what he could do.
We're ready to go. Blast off is scheduled summer 2001 if you want to follow Rocket Guy's progress. Of course, he has a website. It is rocketguy.com.